Hello, just want to show you about the comparison example that are given to you already so that you're clear. So first thing to do is ATQ, right? So ATQ, both sources are different. Okay, I'm answering the question. Both sources are different. Then tell me the topic. What is the topic that you have picked out from both sources? Well, again, what topic can you pick out? You can pick out things like the people, right? Again, the people, the place, the situation. The situation or any trend that's happening. In this case, the BOC or the topic, BOC referring to basis of comparison, or in other words, what are you comparing? Okay, I'm comparing livelihoods of the immigrants. The livelihoods of the immigrants is what I picked up from both sources. They have a common BOC, common topic, and that is the livelihood of the immigrants. Then tell me the point for both sources based on this topic of the livelihood of immigrants. Well, D tells me that what type of life did they have? They had prosperous lives, right? I'm talking about prosperous lives. Now, E tells me that hey, live in poverty. Can you see that these two things, prosperous life and poverty, are linked together because both of them are inferences that are referring to livelihoods of the immigrants. So bear in mind, your BOC must be clear in the first line. Subsequent lines, second line, you must write down the points for source D, the points for both sources basically. D tells me what, however, E tells me what. And these two things that you wrote down must be related to the topic that you are comparing. In this case, it is the livelihood of the immigrants. After that, then you tell me evidence explained of source D, right? So source D evidence. How do I know that the livelihood is prosperous? Well, because amass great wealth, right? New businesses and opportunities. Then after that, you explain. Okay, explain it in your own words. Make sure it's in your own words and it's an extension of evidence. Same thing as your inference criteria. In your own words, extension of evidence. This means that there's opportunities provided for them to improve their living standards. Then you move on to your evidence explanation of your subsequent source, which is talking about poverty. Where do I see the poverty? It was very chaotic. The rickshaw pullers beaten up. They will not earn much for their livelihood. So you see relevant evidence that is related to the main point that I made, which is that they lived in poverty. So this means that they difficult for them to make a living and they earn very little, right? And living to their poor conditions. Okay, so that is why it links to the idea of poverty. So that is how you should do your difference paragraph. Again, just to repeat one more time, start off with ATQ, write the word different. Then after that, write the word the BOC, topic, livelihood of the immigrants. Then after that, tell me the inference from both sources based on this same topic. D tells me prosperous lives, E tells me poverty. Contrasting inferences, but they are both based on the same topic. Then after that is your evidence explained of source D. However, then your evidence explained of source E. And that is how you do the difference paragraph. For your similarity paragraph, it's a bit more straightforward. Again, ATQ, both sources are similar. After that, tell me what is the thing you're talking about. In this case, you're talking about colonial Singapore. That is your main topic, right? So what is your common inference about colonial Singapore? Well, it was a dangerous place. So both have the same inferences about this common topic, colonial Singapore, in that it was in fact dangerous. This is the inference, dangerous. How I know it's dangerous? Well, because in source D, it states that a lot of secret societies, the police cannot curb it. Similarly, then I move on to source E, evidence. Cantonese will be beaten up and then operated by secret societies. So then you explain. Again, when you explain in your own words, extension, same thing again. Your explanation must be in your own words, extension of evidence. Thus, this implies there's a lack of law, chaos, high crime rate. All these things are actually linked to the evidence that I see I'm making extensions to further link it back to why this tells me that colonial Singapore was indeed a dangerous place at that point in time. So again, start off with answering the question. Give me the common topic you're talking about, in this case colonial Singapore. Then give me the common inferences. Both agree it is dangerous. Alright. Then after that, evidence of D, evidence of E, and explain both together at the end to make the point and the link clear to the idea that it was a dangerous place at that time. Please do not leave, do not leave. Don't copy as your inference, don't copy as your explanation. Okay, so that is how you do a proper comparison question. Same thing for your inference, okay. Just a reminder again, for your inference, you have your point, evidence, explanation, right? Just to recap one more time. When you write your point, please, I don't want to see any good, I don't want to see any bad. This is not clear. Okay, please be direct. Okay, give me a direct word or direct phrase that is in your own words. Okay, I cannot emphasize this enough. It must be in your own words. If you copy any word from the source and put it as your point, it is wrong. Okay, evidence is the place where you can quote, where you can just copy the evidence. All right, because you're supposed to copy the evidence. But then when you explain, finally when you explain, right, your explanation, please again in your own words, and then make extensions by asking yourself, so what, so what, then what, or what is the implications for all your evidences, right? How does the evidence actually link to the point that you are trying to explain? That is what you're doing when you're explaining. All right, you're using your own words to further link the evidence you have written, all right, to convince me that your point that you've written at the start is correct. So you have to put in your own words again. All right, for example, this one again, one more time. Lack of police force. So what if there's a lack of police force? How does this link to the idea of danger? Well, lack of police force means that there's a lack of law and order, right? Growing number of secret societies. How does this link to danger? You cannot just say because of growing secret societies is dangerous. That's not enough. You must say because of growing secret societies, hence, this will mean that they are free to do whatever they want, resulting in a lot of chaos, a lot of high crime rate. So explaining in my own words, and thus due to the chaos and the high crime rate, that is why it is dangerous. That is why I came up with my inference that it is a dangerous place. Alright, so that is how what your explanation should look like. Okay, again, do not lift anything for your point and your explanation in your own words, please. The only place you can put your quotation is in the evidence. Alright, thank you.